Alright, so today I'm going to make just a spoon pipe out of a colored tube. I already got a slug pulled. Just a cobalt blue color. Probably put some flashing and dots into it. Give it a little, I'm going to probably do like a honeycomb type thing on the end. Maybe it'll kind of give it that 3D look. Preheat the slug first off. I actually have a pair of glass blowing glasses like this over my phone lens on this camera, so hopefully it's filtering out some of the red and yellows that'll be picked up on the other camera. See if we can make a decent video from two different angles with different lenses, basically. I'm going to get a filter for that one eventually. Got to find the right one first. So this is going to be silver fuming I'm using right here. Putting it on kind of heavy. Want kind of that whitish blue look. Stand out from the cobalt. In fact, I'm going to put a little more on. Almost like that mirror type finish. I'm just doing the end because that's going to be where the honeycomb is. The rest of it's going to be just a cobalt look. So kind of a basic pipe, but something easy to start out on the videos. I'm just going to arrange a good blob right in the middle. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a double honeycomb. I'm going to put dots on, blow it out, and then I'm going to put the honeycomb dots on with probably a different color. See how that looks. Right there, there's the kind of the basic pattern. And then I'm going to go through and go right between those two dots, but not touch them. You don't want to touch the dots. That's where that depth comes from. I'm going to blow this end out, give the whole slug a little quick reheat. Now, what color do we want to use? You want to use something that doesn't bubble, so you know, because it's going to get exposed to a lot of heat being on the outside. So, amber purple, cobalt. I want to use Galaxy. Galaxy is a new black color with sparkles in it. Looks really cool. I have to grab a stick from over here though. Now I got my Galaxy. And I'm gonna lay these I'm gonna give it a quick reheat once again. Don't want your piece getting cold anywhere. And of course I always got my kiln, so if I feel that it's gotten too cool and I'm afraid it's gonna crack when I go to put it back in the flame, you can always throw it in the kiln for a couple minutes. Now I'm gonna put these dots right in the middle of the dots I just melted in. And they're going to be a little bit smaller dots, but not too much smaller. I want to be able to see the existing dots on the outer edge, basically, of these ones. Just do as good as you can of centering your colored dots in the ones you just made with the fuming. Alright. Now I'm going to fire polish all of this down until it's nice and smooth. And then I'll finish out making the rest of the shape of the pipe. You kind of go back and forth with your angles, going up and down like this so it doesn't really just sag straight down. Because those dots take a second to melt in real good and flush, but that's what's going to give it that nice 3D look later on here. Very minor dot stacking. Not to the extent that you've probably seen on Instagram lately. Whew. Some of the guys on there blow my mind. So I'm just going to kind of keep it about like that, really. Kind of let it cool, keep rotating it so it doesn't sag to one side or the other. Kind of what it looks like so far. That's just glowing red in that camera. There we go. Now it's cooling down where you can kind of see pattern. Now I'm going to attach my punty. We're going to do our stretch. And I'm actually doing the stretch still a bit back from the dots I did because I want to leave a decent amount of room here for the bowl area, because really the dots are only going to be on the front half of the bowl, if that makes any sense. So really this whole area, like this whole area here, is going to be basically bowl area, and then you got to compensate like this area for mouthpiece. So really our stretch is going to be right in this area here. Not so much here, not so much here, right here. So you attach your punty. You want your punty, of course, to be much hotter than this. You don't really want this to be hot at all. Just hot enough to be able to attach the punty, but you want this to be able to snap off cleanly later on. So you get that kind of glowing hot, and then you just kind of barely touch it to it, and then kind of pull away real quick, just where it's kind of barely on there. And that's going to snap right off nice and clean later on. Now if you see, right there is where basically that's going to be our bowl from where the red is on. And it's going to, our stretch is going to be a little bit more in that here. I'll actually heat up the whole stretch area real quick. Basically right about there is the whole stretch area that we're going to be doing. And I'm actually going to push it together while I'm heating it. And as soon as it kind of gathers just a little bit and I get a decent little hump, I'm going to do a real slow pull. And I've already got the hump. As you can see, I'm just kind of making sure it's heated up good on both sides of that hump. Then I like to wait just a second. And what You wait just a second. That helps everything gather up and get the same temperature and pull evenly. And that's about how far you want to pull that out. And you're rotating it and stretching the whole time. And the reason you're rotating it the whole time is to make sure you get a nice straight pull and it doesn't come out lopsided. Now I'm going to heat up this part right in the middle. And I don't really put the whole thing in a flame. I just kind of use the bottom tip of the flame so I can be more precise with my flame and get it right on that middle part. It's nice and thick. I just snapped off nice and clean like that. Now I'm going to melt the whole thing down, this whole area right here. Gather it down and blow it out into a bowl shape. Turn that flame up just a tad. Looks like I lost the other camera, so I guess I'm just looking over here now. Apparently I didn't have it set up right. Once again, I like to wait just a second. Let that glass get the same temp. Bam. Quick little reheat. Blow our bowl hole out, turn the flame down so you don't bubble your glass. When you're concentrating the flame in one spot, you can bubble your glass real easy, so it's important to turn it down a bit. And I'm just barely sticking it in there so that I can just get a little tiny edge and blow a little tiny hole out. I'm going to blow pretty hard. About a 2 millimeter size hole or so. And you're actually going to shrink your hole down just slightly because it's going to wind up expanding when you push the bowl down with your carbon rod. And in this case, it did not, the hole is kind of small. So I'll heat up my tungsten poker real quick while it's still kind of warm. Maybe shoot the flame in there a second. Tungsten poker heat, and now it's like reamed out to where it's a good size. Trying to make sure it's nice and round now with the carbon rod. Perfect. Blow the carb hole out. Same thing as the bowl hole pretty much. Might have to blow a little harder because you got an air leak now because of the bowl hole. Then I like to do just like a little wavy design on the side. You can do studs, you can do smiley face, whatever you like to do. You can do nothing. Get nothing and like it. I like to do like a little, it's kind of like a yin-yang type symbol. Just a quick, easy thing, quick little finger grip. Put the flat spot on so it's not rolling around. I don't like to put too big a flat spot on because it kind of gets close to the bowl hole and then you have to worry about clogs. Alright, mouthpiece. I like to heat it up in the very outside of the flame because once again it's been a second since we've worked on this area, so always good to slowly heat up your work if you're worried it's going to crack. Just work it from that outside of that flame and slowly work it in. It'll all work out. Oh, just bumped the camera. AKA my phone. Now what I did is I melted it and heated it up, and now I'm pulling it out kind of slowly to where I get the general nice even shape. And it's symmetrical. I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to use that again. Take my pliers and I'm actually rotating it in my pliers to basically kind of score it. You can hear it squeaking in the pliers. And then I'm actually going to kind of grab it, and actually I was going to do this, kind of give it a snap, but it wound up breaking perfect the way I wanted anyway. So now I heat this up. This is the handle I just pulled off. Heat up the very end, smash it on your carbon pad so you got a flat spot, and then I'm going to heat this up symmetrically. Once again, just the very, very outer edge. Touch this to it and pull away really fast, because you want this to be as thin as you possibly can. By doing that, you're going to go to it and hit it with the pliers, and exactly what you want to break off is going to break off. And this is going to give you, then you kind of give it a little tap on your bench, and it's going to be basically a perfect mouthpiece once you fire polish it. See, look at that. Looks like it was cut with a torch. The torch just fire polished it though. It's cut with pliers. But yeah, that's it. All done. Ready to go to the kiln. One last look at that end with the honeycomb. Take the glasses off here because they've exposed it with the... Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching.